You know, the United States of America was the greatest country before Trump, and it's the greatest country now after Trump. The white supremacists want to go back. They want to go back to the days when it was legal to own slaves.
You are about to be entertained by the ape, the young man who has become a legend in his own time. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
All right, if you can't handle the truth, you don't need to be here anyway, everybody. Where are you, Patricia? What's up, everybody? It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, the Ron Kelly Show.com, along with Facebook, YouTube, and X, formerly known as Twitter. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. It already is. It's March 28th, I believe, already. I mean, it seems like we just celebrated New Year's Eve just a couple of days ago, and now we're speeding into April. So enjoy it, folks. Enjoy every minute of it. Shouts out to the people, and peace be upon, I should say, the people in Baltimore, those folks who were on the bridge, minding their own business, working, when that container ship ran into that boat. Just awful, everybody. Okay, What's Your Beef was sponsored by Tasha's Restaurant. We'll get to that a little bit later on, but for right now, we have Paterson 5th Ward Council candidate, Sebastian Mejia. Am I saying that right, Mejia?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Yeah. My best friend was Eddie Martinez when I was growing up, when I was a little kid. So I learned a lot. Hey, welcome, council. I almost said councilman. Welcome. I know you probably wouldn't mind that, but yeah, welcome, Sebastian. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I had Fifth Ward incumbent councilman Luis Velez on the program last week, and I've been kind of following your progress, and you've been pretty clean as far as you're not saying anything, digging up any dirt on Councilman Velez, and I respect that. I respect that because that's kind of like par for the course in a lot of these contests, even the smallest ones like councilman, all the way up to the president of the United States of America. You've been very respectful in your campaign. So let me ask you, what did you? I mean, I believe that everybody who runs for office sees something, that motivates them to try to put themselves in that position. So what did you see in the Fifth Ward that motivated you to challenge Councilman Velez for his seat?
Well, I see that there was a desperate desire in the hearts of the people, really, for a new wave of leadership that leads by example. I'm a lifelong resident of Paterson. I've been in the Fifth Ward my whole life. And just in my daily dealings with either parents, neighbors, people in the community, I've got the impression from them that they want something different with an actual vision to bring to the Fifth Ward. And ever since since a child, honestly, I've always had a call for service to serve my community in varying capacities. So as I've grown older, grown into myself, I've leaned towards serving in the political sense if given the opportunity.
Okay. Okay. All right. I can respect that. Oh, by the way, Lamont Gates says, "What's up, Seb?" We all know Lamont Gates. Yeah, Lamont Gates, NDE, near-death experience, folks who on his program. You can catch him on YouTube. I'm not sure exactly what the name of the program is, but I know it's NDE, near-death experiences. So, Paterson has been kind of like a stew of just all kinds of stuff going on in Paterson. And when I hear that someone wants to jump into that pot, I always kind of ask why. So why with all that's going on in Paterson, with the infighting and all the other things, what do you think you could bring to the council to, I mean, maybe as one person uh, to help smooth some of these things over?
Yeah, I think what I would bring to the table, given the opportunity to be the next councilman of the Fifth Ward, is a certain level of diplomacy and professionalism and respect for my constituents, that I think is needed in a seat such as council person in the city of Paterson. Um, what happens is that the actions of those that are elected into office, they trickle down. It's like trickle down morality, trickle down character. And if we have those who we are looking towards to lead us and make important decisions, if those people are not behaving in a manner in which it's reflective in a positive way towards the community is not going to behave in a positive manner either. It starts from them in that position, so that the people cannot take it upon themselves, be like, hey, don't tell us to behave if you cannot behave. Don't tell us to be respectful if you do not have respect. And I think, and just from attending so many Paterson City Council meetings, that need is screaming out. The need for diplomacy and professionalism and respect on both sides of the dais is a big one. Is a big need for the community.
All right. So you're a young, very young man, around 30 years old, 29.
Yes, I just turned 30 in January.
Well, congratulations. I hate you, by the way. But it wasn't that long ago since I was 30. So let's clear that up. But I'm joking. And you have Luis Velez, who's the seasoned veteran, who you're running against, kind of like the juggernaut of the Fifth Ward. Not to say he's unbeatable, but I'm saying he's a very formidable. He's a very formidable opponent. Now you went down to the DC. Tell us about that. Why did you go to DC? Environmental protection.
Yes, thank you. So one of the biggest issues that I've come across, not just as a resident of the Fifth Ward, but also as I speak to the neighbors, is the issue of flooding. As many people may be aware, some may not be, flooding is a serious issue in the city of Paterson, and particularly in the Fifth Ward. Certain pockets of the Fifth Ward are greatly affected when there's heavy rains that causes flash flooding, and it rises the water from our sewer system. We have a combined sewer system. So if there's flooding in the area, the water from the sewers gets mixed in with your rainwater. So now you have sewage, human waste mixing in with rainwater. That's what's coming into people's homes. That's what's flooding people's cars. And that's having an environmental effect, economic effect, and health effect on the residents of the Fifth Ward and the entire city of Paterson. So I took it upon myself just to inform and have a conversation to see what can be done in the future and open up that line of dialogue between federal agencies such as the EPA and the city of Paterson, and that's going into it with no promises, nothing, just opening up the lines of discourse and dialogue. I think it's important. Whether I'm in the seat or not, it's affecting my neighbors. And it's a serious environmental issue that the people in the Fifth Ward are facing. We've had it in our home, the basement getting flooded. I've seen cars up to halfway up to the car stuck in the middle of the street in the intersection. They can't get out. People are struggling in the city of Paterson financially. So for someone whose daily bread is determined by, can they get from A to B with their vehicle, and now their vehicle is damaged because of flooding, because we had a sewer system that's over 100 years old that we understand needs to get replaced. And in order to get that replaced efficiently, we're going to need federal help.
Well, from what I understand, though, in response to that, from what I understand, is that the people up county release the water so they don't get flooded. They release the water, and the water comes down to Paterson and causes all kinds of problems. And as a matter of fact, I read somewhere where one of the, I believe it was Sayeg or someone from this area, Sayeg County, spoke to the governor about not releasing so much water at one time, and the governor seemed to not even, it seemed like he didn't care.
Yeah, and
what do you say to that?
Though that situations like that, and I'm not really one to use this term, but I think it's appropriate. That's environmental discrimination.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's environmental discrimination. And I don't want to take anything away from the people up county, because I've seen the footage, and I haven't driven by during the time, but I've seen the footage of homes completely covered in water, and I understand why they would do so. But before we take steps like that, we have to look at the grand picture of things, how it's going to affect us here in Paterson. And that's why, again, the lines of communications need to be opened, because what works for thee might not work for me.
Yeah, and keeping it 100. I mean, the areas where poor folks live are usually the ones that are disenfranchised folks, are usually the ones that are ignored, because they're like, who cares about those poor people that are getting flooded out like rats down there in Paterson? So what do we do, Sebastian? What do we do? Well, the governor's on his way out, but what do we do to gain a better foothold in state politics? What do we do?
And just from looking at the microcosm, which is the city of Paterson, and what I've been able to learn just by being involved in local politics and observing, I think through observation, we can learn a lot. I've learned that by being active, being present, and being involved in the political process, we can get things done and we can make tangible changes. So by doing something as simple as reaching out to your state representatives, your congressmen, your assembly people, your senators, by constantly reaching out, almost pestering them, if you will, with the issue of the flooding, making phone calls, writing letters, consistency is the key for advocacy, for our advocacy to really work. It has to come along with consistency from the community that is interested in seeing change actually happen. It's not easy. There's plenty of other cities that need help with flooding and their combined sewer system. But if we truly want to see an upgrade in our sewers and some kind of relief from the flooding that's going on in the city of Paterson, we're going to have to start thinking outside of the box, non-traditional methods, and we're going to have to seriously consider a leader that is willing to be on the front lines of this kind of an advocacy that affects the entire Fifth Ward and the entire city of Paterson.
Okay. All right. With that, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with Sebastian Mejia, who's a Fifth Ward council candidate for this great city of Paterson, New Jersey. When we come back, I'm going to ask you about the kitchen table issues that folks are really, really concerned about, and how you will address those. Okay, we'll take a quick break. We'll come right back with more. This is the Ron Kelly Show, featuring Patricia Wilder, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, theronkellyshow.com, and all across the social media spectrum. We'll be back in a moment. Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
All right, everybody, welcome back. It's the Ron Kelly Show, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, theronkellyshow.com. Also on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. The Ron Kelly Show is brought to you in part by, brought to you in part by Amica and Porterfield Transportation. You know, for 44 years, Amica and Porterfield Transportation has been your choice to take you to your destination. School trips, family reunions, church trips, you name it, Amica and Porterfield can handle it. They're located in Plainfield, New Jersey, actually. And the phone number is 908-753-6423. That's 908-753-6423, located at 307 Arlington Avenue in the great city of Plainfield, New Jersey. I'm 100% sure that they can see to your transportation needs. So once again, 908-753-6423, 908-753-6423. Amica and Porterfield Transportation is a proud sponsor of this here program, the Ron Kelly Talk Radio Show. All right, right now we're talking to Sebastian Mejia, who is a Fifth Ward, City of Paterson, Fifth Ward Council candidate. Shout out to Luis Velez, I'm sure is watching. Or maybe he's not, I don't know. But shout out to him who was on program last week, the incumbent Fifth Ward Councilman Luis Velez. So Sebastian, you know, I've never run for office, but I've been watching this kind of stuff for a long time.
Yes.
And going all the way back to Marty Barnes, like when I first started on the radio. And, you know, in one observation I've met is that you have to meet people where they are. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know, it's got the kitchen table issues, crime, unemployment. And I'm not talking about gas prices. Not even the president can do anything about gas prices. And sometimes people who are running for office will make promises that they can't keep. Not saying you are, but do you feel like you're meeting people where they are? Crime, unemployment, the outrageous tax rates in the city of Paterson are causing some people to lose their houses. How does a councilman, Sebastian Mejia, address this?
All right, and I'm very careful in how I speak to people. And firstly, I listen to what issues are important to them. But one thing I'm not gonna do is put myself in the position where I'm gonna be promising anything. I can promise to be a servant of the constituents, of my neighbors in the Fifth Ward, and that's about as far as I'll go in terms of promises. But I'm aware, just in my dealings and as I'm knocking on doors, talking with neighbors, of these kitchen table issues that affect everybody: the crime, the financial hardships that people are going through. You know, as far as so I do have a platform in which I break down the issues that I look forward to advocating for as the councilman of the Fifth Ward. And it's broken down by the acronym of We Over Me. And I'll just briefly break it down for the audience. So We Over Me, once broken down, it's well lit streets for a safer environment. So, studies prove that by adding more lights, something as simple and as common sense as brighter streets once the sun comes down, act as a crime deterrent throughout our communities. So, well lit streets for safer environment. We have economic growth through new job opportunities and financial education. So, as you know, many Pattersonians live below the federal poverty line. As councilmen, I think you have a certain duty and responsibility to teach people how to fish instead of pointing them to the free fish, because that free fish can be taken away from you, but the skill set of learning how to fish can never be taken from you. That's why my parents instilled in me, get yourself an education. They can never take that away from you. So I think working alongside community partners, for example, the trade school, we have a trade school here in the city of Paterson, Hocus, having that dialogue, that conversation. How can we have more young Pattersonians who may not want to take the traditional university education route to be involved in a trade school that gives them a skill like an electrician, like a plumber, like a mechanic, like a chef? Fundamental key careers in our country, in our society, in our city that we need. We all use toilets. We all take showers. We all wash our hands. We all need a plumber. We all live in a house. We all need carpenters. We all like having AC. We need HVAC people. We need Pattersonians that are trained to do jobs and to fend for themselves. Because I don't want to continue. This is just my now we're getting deep, we're getting personal. I don't want to keep seeing my neighbors relying on the government for their daily bread. I don't want to see that. I want to see an empowered constituency. I want to see a community that is empowered, not having to rely on a stipend, from the government on the monthly basis. Because he who controls you by how you eat, he who feeds you controls you. And I don't want to see my neighbors be controlled. So that's why part of the platform of We Over Me is to focus on financial education and empowerment of jobs through education. So also on the financial education side, establishing partnerships with local banks and also many of institutions that are available for the public to learn about their financial stability and education, how to improve their credit scores, how to file for different loans, the different federal programs that are available for entrepreneurs, for different business ideas that people may have and just might not have the information on how to go about doing so to be able to empower themselves economically. And that's what I would love to bring to the table. And that's the need that I see in the Fifth Ward. And just continuing. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Kelly.
No, I was going to say, Glenridge, New Jersey still use gas lights. They still use gas lightings from the 1800s. They still use them. And it's dark. And some streets are like pitch black, but there's no crime there.
Right.
So isn't it really about the mindset of the people, Sebastian? The mindset of the people, because there are people who are just not going to do the right thing no matter what.
Yes.
And unfortunately, there's more of them than there are of people who are willing to elevate themselves,
right?
Pull themselves up by the bootstraps,
right.
etc. So how do we get to? How do we reach that happy medium where people will want to engage the resources, people will want to pull themselves up, people who will want to do the right thing. How do we encourage people to do that?
Yeah, and that's where the point of having respect for one another and having love for one another and understanding of our different situations. You could say a lot of the guys I grew up with in the city of Paterson coming up chose that other path. But why? The why is the important question. 9 times out of 10, it's either a disruptive home life leading to financial difficulties. So while it's much more difficult as a legislator to sway people's mentality and hearts, you can only do that by leading by example. But something that you can do that's more tangible is point them in the direction of, hey, listen, my brother, my sister, I understand that the streets appear to be lucrative because of the fast money. But there is A, B, C, and D other methods of you getting money that are legal, give you peace of mind, and make you a respectful member of our society, of our community. And I think that is the missing piece to be able to reach out to these dudes, to these people that might be swayed by the streets, because a lot of times it's a financial decision that they're making in taking those kind of actions.
Well, and the other thing too, you will find if you are elected and you defeat Luis Velez, you're going to find that there's a lot of gamesmanship. Once you become a councilman, there's going to be stuff that you're going to vote for that leaves a bad taste in your mouth, but you're going to have to do it in order to get the count, because I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine, and you will have to eventually, quite possibly, have to vote for some things that that you're going to say, oh God, I don't want to do this, but in order for me to get this thing done, I have to vote for something that somebody else wants that I don't necessarily agree with, because there's 9 people. I believe it's 9 people, 7 people, 9 people.
9 people, yes.
Council people, and you singularly can't, you don't have a whole lot. I mean, you got to get, there's got to be a 5-4 vote in order for you to get what you need. So how do we avoid that? How do we avoid that?
I think the question, how to manage that. How do we manage that?
You can't avoid it.
You cannot avoid it, and that's one of the things I aim to be as transparent as possible with this whole process. And this is also a big educational process, not only for myself, but I like to see myself as a trailblazer for the next generation of leaders in the city of Paterson. That, hey, you can do this too. Learn from me, learn from my mistakes, learn through my right decisions and wrong decisions. Start off there. I do want to say that my academic background in university was my political science, also religious studies. But in my dealings in political science, one of the things that I've learned is that government, whether federal, state, or municipal, is a business. Paterson is a corporation. And once you have that perspective of it is a business, it is a corporation, and the council members are the governing body of the business. We have our legal representation, which is corporation council, and the mayor is almost like the CEO of the business. So just like in any other business, when you're a member of the board, you're going to have to compromise. You're going to have to meet in the middle, have difficult discussions in order to get things done. I'm not going to sit here and lie. It's going to be about me. What I want to, there would be 8 other council members sitting up there in that governing body.
Yeah, sometimes it's going to be them over you. Not
It's not,
necessarily
and
we.
me, I'm all about we over me. I'm all about we over me. And you have to take that and apply that in every aspect of life. We over me.
Go
So, and that's and going back to the point that you made originally, I'm not getting into this to disrespect anyone. And I've said this in the council meetings before. I have respect and for all of them up there. Personal things out of the way, because at some you had to convince your community to support you.
So let
You
me
had
ask you. You're right. You're right.
you had to.
You have
So
to.
you have to approach them with a certain level of respect. I might not agree with every single vote every single person does, but I am ready, willing, and able to work alongside them for the constituency.
So let me ask you. So what? Without naming names, do you have any support from the council, the current council members?
I would say yes. Honestly, I would say that if you were to speak to the majority of the council, they would have a lot. They would say that they have a lot of respect for what I bring to the table, how I carry myself, and the ideas that I have presented thus far. And that's just me in the conversations that I've had, because ultimately this is not a one man show. It's not a one man show, as much as people might like to think it is. It's a team effort, and you're not always going to get along or agree with your teammates, but you have a common goal in mind. You're going to get it done.
Yeah, so it's like the young whippersnapper versus the old incumbent.
Yes. No, it is. And although, and I think I have solidified myself just through consistency and just being there for the community as up next. No matter what happens in this election, we are up next.
So
You know,
Jorge, is that how you say that? Jorge
Jorge.
Fernando Ramos. I don't know how to say the last part, the last word. Cyprian.
Yeah, this Mr. Ramos.
Yeah, Mr.
Ramos, thank
Ramos.
you.
That's excellent, Sebastian. Thank you, Mr. Ramos, for taking a part of the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. So Sebastian, so what happens if you lose?
It
Do you
doesn't change anything.
go away or
It does not change anything. We will
advocate?
continue advocating for the city of Paterson. We will continue um, bringing transparency in local government to the city of Paterson. It changes nothing. It does not change we over me. We will continue growing. We will continue learning. We will continue pressing the flesh. Nothing changes. May 15th, we waking up and we're still working.
Yeah, because I've had a lot. Most of those council people have been on this show. Most of them. Um, Let me see who hasn't been. I think all of them have been on this show at one time or another. And some of them have changed. Without naming names, some of them have changed. Some of them got swallowed up by, the like I said, the gamesmanship and the one-upsmanship and all kinds of stuff that's going on in the country. Some of them have changed. They've been swallowed up into the scratch my back, I scratch yours type of stuff. And it's really hard to not get caught up in it because it's the way it works, unfortunately.
Correct.
So, and it's going to happen to you. If you're elected, you're going to, it's just like President Obama. President Obama was saying, what he was saying is he's soaring rhetoric. And when he got in there, he said, oh, wow, this is not what I thought it would be. Right. So if you're elected, you're going to go to the first council meeting and there's going to be anarchy and, because you've seen it, because I've seen you on social media. So what are you going to do? What is Sebastian going to do to stay above the fray?
No, thank you. And I think going into this whole process, I've done my due diligence in observing, once again, how things work. I'm a very observant person, and I pay attention to body language. I look people in the eyes, and I pick up on cues. I pick up on things. As far as what keeps me level headed, um, it's my spiritual foundation that has taught me that I am just a servant, and I am here temporarily providing a service. Whatever shape that takes in my life, that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to pursue, because ultimately I'm just one man, but I know that my most powerful asset is my voice, and once up there, that's what I have to use. My voice and my pen, because I do look forward to presenting legislation that's common sense. My- in order to get support of the majority of the council, I aim on writing legislation that's kind of hard to negate, hard to downplay, and hard to vote against, because it would benefit the majority of the wards. You understand that's how, and once I get up there, it might be completely different, and I'm ready for that.
Yeah,
You know,
because
I'm ready
you're
for
only
that.
30.
I've seen the back and forth. I've seen the switching up at the last minute. I'm not going into this blindly, but I'm ready to do the job to the best of my ability.
Okay. All right, everybody. It's a Fifth Ward Council candidate, Sebastian Mejia, who hopes to stay above the fray. That's going to be my tagline for you. Stay above the fray. You're going to be the youngest council person there, obviously. A lot of the people in the council could be your father or your mother. So,
That's true. Yes, sir.
so there will be folks who will try to, let me take him under my wing and make him my rubber stamp, my rubber stamp councilman. There will be people who will try that, but if you do win, I wish you well, council candidate Sebastian Mejia. I wish you well, and if you do win, I hope that uh, they say one man can make a difference, and one man can make a difference if he collaborates with the folks
Yes.
around him. You can make a difference. So thank you for coming on to the program. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Um, and good luck. Is it May? When is the election?
The election is Tuesday, May 14th. I am 1A on the ballot.
Oh wow, you in the first slot, huh?
I'm on the first position on election day. And just I'm thankful for the opportunity. I'm thankful from the support from the community thus far.
Yeah, speak to
And
the people before you go up.
yeah, man, Mr. Kelly, and
Speak to your folks.
it's been quite a journey since we first met back in the day.
Yeah, I think
And,
we was trying to supporting
we worked.
what's her
This
name?
is doctor. This is doctor. We worked on campaigns, and we just kept that cordial relationship. You and I. I've
Yeah.
seen you out and about and everything.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to thank you for having me on the show. And as far as to the residents of the Fifth Ward, the residents of Paterson, I am representing you. My personal desires and goals come second when it comes to this job that I'm applying for. This whole process to me has been a job interview.
Yes.
Presenting myself, my ideas, and the level of professionalism, respect, and honor that I look forward to bringing to the Fifth Ward. To all people, I'm of Colombian descent. I'm Latino. I love all my Latino people, but I love all of my residents in the Fifth Ward, the African American community, the Bengali community. We are neighbors. And ultimately, we have to love one another. We have to work together. Our children go to the same school. We shop at the same stores. We drive in the same streets. Potholes do not discriminate. I'll leave it with that. Potholes do not discriminate. They
Neither
affect,
do floods. Yeah,
you know,
neither do floods. They don't discriminate either. They'll go with whoever's basement is available.
neither do floods. Mother Nature does not discriminate. Neither do potholes. I look forward to being your next Fifth Ward councilman to bring common sense, new ideas to address these issues. Like the pothole issue. We've been using the same technology for 100 years. I've taken the time to do my research to be able to bring to the table organizations, companies with new technology that are environmentally friendly and address the issues of potholes. If elected your next Fifth Ward councilman, it was going to be my honor to present these new ideas to improve your daily quality of life. I'm not going to promise anything besides being a servant to you and to doing this job to the best of my ability. Again, my name is Sebastian Mejia. I represent we over me, and I am a candidate for the Fifth Ward Council seat here in the city of Paterson.
All right, everybody. Young whippersnapper, Sebastian Mejia, going up against Goliath, who in the person of Luis Velez. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what
throw some stones for sure, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah. And I definitely will be watching. Sebastian, thank you for your time.
Kelly, thank you for having me.
Mad respect. You're taking on a Herculean task here, and I hope everything works out the way you expect it to. Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. All right, everybody. What's your beef with me? And I'm going to tell you what I think about some of the things that are going on in the great city of Paterson. And maybe we'll have Patricia come back on. Patricia Wilder come on and join us in a little while. All right, we'll take a break and we'll come back with more. This is you. This is me. It's Ron Kelly Talk Radio program, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, the RonKellyShow.com, and of course, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and all across the social media spectrum. Back in a moment with more. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. You know, the United States of America was the greatest country before Trump, and it's the greatest country now after Trump. The white supremacists want to go back. They want to go back to the days when it was legal to own slaves.
You are about to be entertained by the ace, the young man who has become a legend in his own time. You must answer. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Wow, look at that. Look at me all over. I don't even know what town that was. Shout out to my people behind the scenes who do those things, who make that magic work. Shout out to them. And it's me and you right here on the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. Me and you and a whole bunch of other people, as I can see from some of the social medias site. So cousin George, my cousin George, real cousin George. You know how we say people, cuz, what's up, cuz? No, he's my real cousin. Said his wife is from Paterson, New Jersey. Patricia Wilder, where are you, my dear? Where are you? Pat Wilder, we're trying to get her on the program here. Let me see. Let me just send a little message there. Yeah, so I got a problem with I got a really big problem with Planet Fitness. It's time for What's Your Beef? It's sponsored by Tasha's Soul Food Restaurant, Orange, New Jersey. And wait a minute, is she here? Do we have her? We have her, the great one. It's Patricia Wilder.
Hello, Mr. Kelly.
Patricia Wilder, whose brother, I believe, is the pastor of Crossroads
Restoration Fellowship.
It's not Crossroads anymore.
385 Broadway. Every Sunday morning, 8:30 a.m. Pastor Jerry Wilder.
Well, I will certainly be in church Sunday. Well, I have to work. It's my turn to work the cameras. 3 services. I'm going to be there all day. Oh, Lord Jesus. But it's going to be all right. What better place to be than to be in church? All right, everybody. Patricia Wilder is here, my great co-host. She's here. And I was feeling so lonely, but now she's here, so I feel a little bit better now.
Well, we're glad that you feel better.
Glad you're here, Patricia. I have a problem with, and thank you to Sebastian Mejia. He did a great interview. He's the young whippersnapper who's
watching.
Yeah, going up against Luis Velez, who was on the program last week. So we're gonna see. We'll see. We will see. May 14th, I think he said, in the city of Paterson. So we'll see. We'll see. He's young. He's only 30 years old. There's probably a lot of people on the council right now.
That's very young.
Mother or his father, yeah. But he's a very young guy, college educated, and seems to be in touch with what's going on. So we'll see. We will see. I don't think there's somebody else running. There's a couple other people running. I believe. I haven't really done all my homework on this, but I know those are the 2 major candidates: Sebastian Mejia and current Councilman Luis Velez. So I got a problem with, and we spoke about this, Patricia, a problem with Planet Fitness. And this whole thing about, I can say I'm something and, everybody's got to deal with it. I can say I'm this and everybody's got to deal with it. I'm just so fed up with all this nonsense of people.
So what is your issue with Planet Fitness?
My issue with Planet Fitness is that they are allowing men, to use a woman's bathroom. Men who say they're trans, men who say they're even queer. Now, one person,
that's actual information?
Yeah, somebody said that they were queer and they want to use the woman's bathroom. Now, I have nothing against, if you're queer, okay, that's your business, but don't drag somebody else into it. Now, there's an incident in Planet Fitness with a lady there, and she was in the woman's bathroom, and she saw a man who claimed to be trans or queer was shaving. Now, nobody shouldn't be shaving. At least a woman should not be shaving her face. If it's a woman, women don't shave. So, their faces anyway. But this guy was in there shaving. So the woman took a picture of him, and she put the picture on social media because there was a young girl in the bathroom. She's around 12 years old, and all she had around her was a towel. And you got this man in there who's claiming to be trans or queer or gay or whatever.
Well, I was told Planet Fitness responsible
Yeah,
if there
it's just
are
right. There's a little girl. I mean, I wouldn't
other
want.
genders
Yeah, if I had a 12-year
going
old
into a
daughter,
bathroom where there
mhm,
is
if I had a 12-year
just
old
labeled
daughter,
for women.
I would not want some big rusty dude in there with her, um, who's basically a man. Because we talk about we talk about America is just, I mean, there's some great things about America, but there's a lot of things about America that I don't like. And this thing where you can just say, and I'm going to segue into another piece here with this thing where you can just say, I'm a woman. And it's pretty obviously obvious that you're not a woman, but you can say you're a woman and people have to accept it. I remember there was an issue with a school teacher, for example, Patricia, who refused to call a student by its, what do they call it, proper classification, Ms., Mrs., uh, and he refused to call a trans student as a girl. And they fired him. He got fired because he refused to address this trans person as what they aspire to be, not what they really are, what's on the birth certificate. Now, he did eventually get his job back, but this whole thing to me is just ridiculous. Now, I got nothing against trans. I got nothing against gay, lesbian, bisexual. I have nothing against any of that. But people, if they don't want to recognize you as what you claim to be, I don't think that people should have to be locked into that. You know, I mean, without being disrespectful, I don't think that people should be locked into that. You are. It's just, oh, I just get a headache from all of this stuff where people can say there's something and everybody else has to go for it. There was an incident on an
Yeah, we're
airplane.
living in the world today where people are saying everything that they're saying.
Yeah, and they're saying that they're this and that. If you're a man, if
They're
you, I
saying
mean,
that they won the presidency, you know. So we're
no,
living in a world where people think that what they say can become a reality.
no, but they, you are what you are. You are whatever your birth certificate says you are, regardless of the surgery, uh, regardless of the surgery, regardless of the hormones, whatever it is, the things they take in to grow breasts and all of this stuff.
Well,
I
I mean,
mean,
I think when it comes to gender, if someone decides whatever they decide they want to be and do, it's certainly their choice, but you don't have the right to force that on anyone else. You know, if you're talking about Planet Fitness and that incident, if there's a girl's room and a male's room, then it clearly says what it is. Um, and if that's not happening in that way, then I think that place should be responsible.
yeah, because there's some girls, with I mean, so in addition to what I was saying about, I guess I went off off the rails
Oh, with the
over the
sports.
yeah, but see, there's the WNBA and the NBA. We have a WNBA, there's an NBA. There's a women's PGA, and there's a men's PGA. Why? Because men and women cannot compete uh, together on the same field. So there are some governors and some people who are in charge of some of these states, Republicans mostly, who are banning uh, banning the guys who want to be girls. I mean, they shouldn't be they shouldn't be competing against girls because they're gonna win. A lot of these girls are depending on scholarships that they may get, and if a boy who wants to be a girl comes in there and beats her out of her scholarship, I don't think that's fair. It's not a fair competition because you got a boy who is stronger, and he is going to beat a girl just about every time. And I don't think that's fair to the girls that they should have to compete against men who wearing weaves or whatever. They shouldn't have to put up with that.
Yes.
Now the other thing with Planet Fitness, the lady took a picture of Planet Fitness of this guy in the women's bathroom, showed it. I think she put it on social media, and they canceled her membership. And that's how it really got going. They canceled her membership, and they won't. And she doesn't have a membership at Planet
They
Fitness.
canceled the membership of the person who made the complaint, is what you're saying?
Right. The person who made the complaint, they canceled her membership. And they said the reason why they did that was because the policy for Planet Fitness is that you're not supposed to take pictures of anybody, any other member. And there's a
lot going on in the world, and there's a lot of places to fight and give your voice, and work to make change. But we also live in a world where folks call right wrong and wrong right.
Yeah, right is wrong and wrong is right. I mean, that's where we're going now. It's like a bizarro.
You have to see it my way, and if you don't see it my way, we're living in.
So, Patricia, catch us up on the Win Foundation. Catch us up on the Win Foundation.
Well, the Win Foundation is something that we're really excited about. Win Foundation, WIN, is Women in Network, helping women in need. And so we're really looking forward to launching our own broadcast. So we're very excited about that. That's going to be happening in the month of April. So we're putting things together and fine-tuning that process, where we are addressing women issues, and at the same time, we're celebrating the contributions that we continue to make. And so as we're, wrapping up, the show, we're at the very top of the hour, we're very excited. So we're going to tell you to stay tuned for the WIN Network. And it will be exclusively for women to address our issues as well as celebrate our triumph. And you're going to be participating.
Right. And so we have the Win Foundation radio program, who's co-produced by yours truly, and in conjunction with Patricia Wilder, we're going to produce this program. We're looking at maybe a weekend start.
Yes.
We're looking at a weekend start. As a matter of fact, some of a lot of stuff has to be done in order to put a radio show on air. You need media, you need graphics, you need logo, you need a lot of stuff if you want to present a great program. So working on that now. My team is sending me some examples, and I'm either.
Well, we're really excited, Ron. We're really excited about your willingness to come on board. You've been in this arena for
why wouldn't I?
25 years.
Yeah, I'm all for supporting women 100%. And I think that women have been overlooked, women have been overlooked, and women haven't been taken as seriously as they should. There should be some alternatives to order of protection, because the order of protection just pisses the guy off. I think there should be some follow-up with that. You don't just give give a woman a piece of paper and have her walk out the door. There should be some follow-up with that. Someone should be checking on her. We got a whole lot going on. So the WIN Network, Women in Network,
yes,
Foundation radio program is coming to a social media site near you. So just everybody stay tuned.
Absolutely.
Working feverishly behind the scenes to get this thing.
We are indeed. And we welcome at the same time your thoughts, your ideas, and some of what topics you would like to see covered. So yes, we're really, really excited.
Yes, absolutely. All right, we're out of here. It's about an hour is gone. So we'll see you guys back here next week for another edition of the Ron Kelly Show, featuring Patricia Wilder. And make sure you hit the church this weekend. Like I said, I'm going to be there for 3 long services.
You're not complaining, are you?
No, I'm not complaining. No.
Great.
Because the Lord has done a lot for me. And
Amen.
so giving back. Praise the Lord, I am giving back. I can't give him a millimeter of what he's done for me, but I can do something to show my appreciation and my gratitude. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Patricia. We'll see you back here next week. And as I like to say that to everyone, that it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And Patricia.
More important.
And we may not have it all together, but
together we can have it all.
All right, everybody. Look out for the WIN Network. We're working on it. We'll see you there. All right, everybody. We'll see you back here next week. Thank you so much. And Patricia and I are out of here. Thank you.
Peace and blessings.
Yes.